All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome. Very much welcome.
Welcome to this sanctuary of transness.
Exactly. I keep forgetting what the podcast is called sometimes.
Yeah. Well, we've had like 5 different names in the process of getting ready for this podcast to start. But that's okay. But today, I would actually like to officially welcome you all to our podcast by the name of Trans and Transparent.
Tell me how much you love me. Tell me you'll never doubt me. Tell me how much I changed your life. Say you can't live without
We're finally
me.
here. This has been a long time coming, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. We've worked on this for a while, and we're finally ready to start this off.
Yeah. We've had like a weekly plan for like 2 months.
Yeah.
Of like working a little bit and planning.
Yeah, that's crazy. I'm super fucking excited to start this finally.
I mean, considering everything we've been through over the years, this is just another little story in the plot of our entire friendship.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's super exciting and super fun, and we're gonna have a good time.
Yes.
I also feel like, especially now, considering how much work you've been putting in with the social media and everything, and then our different backgrounds, and just the fact that we reversed each other with our transitions is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
So I really think it's a good opportunity for us.
I feel like we're gonna have a lot of fun things to talk about.
For sure.
I want to press that button. Okay, now I actually feel like the people are there,
Yeah. Wait, I need to take off my sleeves
Why?
because it's hot.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty hot in here.
Yeah.
It's hot in here.
Oh, it's getting hot in here.
But yeah, so we've known each other for a very, 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 very long time.
Damn, bitch, you made us sound ancient.
Yeah,
The fuck?
we've been knowing each other for 80 years.
80 years.
So basically, in this episode, we just want to talk about our history together, and because I feel like we haven't even talked about it with each other for a very long time.
It's been a hot minute.
Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna talk about the memories, talk about how we met each other. We were basically 6 years old, so we have a lot of fun stories. We're not gonna cover all of them today, but I feel like, yeah, just so that you can basically get to know each other and get to know the foundation of our friendship. And then obviously we're going to get into the trans things. We're going to talk a lot about anything from sexual things to more emotional things and maybe political things, or anything that has to do with transness or just our lives, basically.
Yeah, for sure. And also navigating, navigating different spaces as trans individuals and all of these things too that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough.
Exactly.
And definitely like the different sides to it.
Yeah. Because I've never seen a podcast like this. Like, I've seen podcasts with like trans femmes and trans men or trans masculine people, but not like a trans woman and a trans man.
Yeah, I think it'll be good to have a podcast where both sides get heard in different ways.
We just need a non-binary person as well.
Exactly.
And a cis person.
No, we don't need one.
No.
Of those. That's okay. They're everywhere all the time, all at once. So we don't need that.
We know everything about them already.
Yeah.
They already have all of the spotlights.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, before getting into the history and everything, I feel like maybe we should also talk a little bit about like who we are, or just like a quick introduction. Just so that it's not just jumping into our history, basically. So if you didn't know already, I'm Benji. I'm a trans man. I have been transitioning since the year of 2024, which is not that long, actually. But yeah, I'm 23, and I came out as trans when I was 22. Is that right? No, I was 21. I was 21.
You were?
Yes.
No, because
on my 22nd birthday, I was out, and I was not on testosterone, and then on my 23rd birthday, I was on testosterone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And before that, I was a raging lesbian for for many years.
Many years.
Yeah.
We've both been raging homosexuals for a lot of years.
Exactly.
Before we realized that was not the case.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add on?
No, I don't think so. Obviously, or maybe not obviously for everyone, but I work with social media, and I'm a transgender online fitness coach, and I help mostly transmasculine people, transform their bodies and become more comfortable with themselves and all of that.
Yeah. And I also really love about your coaching, the fact that you work so much with also, tackling people's dysphoria and navigating that whole section of transitioning, I guess. Like that, obviously that's a huge part of it, but yeah, no, I think it's a great thing you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I guess I should talk a little bit about me. So,
the fuck are you?
I don't know. That's a very good question. No, all jokes aside. So, my name's Hunter. I'm a 23-year-old trans woman. I have been socially transitioning, I would say, since 2022. Yeah, that's when I kind of realized fully. But before that, I mean, I think I was questioning my gender for quite a long time and expressing myself femininely before that as well. But 2022 was kind of when I knew for sure and when I came out socially, at least. And then, I've been I have been medically transitioning for the past 6 months. But
it's funny that I started before you, and you were out a year before I even came out.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that later.
Yeah. But that's fine. That's okay. That's all right. If anything, it's just Sweden's fucking healthcare, trans care.
Yeah, we're Swedish. Maybe we should mention that.
Yeah, we're both Swedish, or well. I'm part American, part Russian.
You're not even Swedish.
I'm not even Swedish. I'm part American, part Russian, but I'm born and raised in Sweden and grew up here my whole life and everything. Yeah. And that's how we got to know each other, living in Sweden at the same time. Wow, shocker. But Benji, you're fully Swedish, however.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway, back to me, because I'm a star. No, I'm just kidding. Back to me. I work full-time as a photographer, and so this is the first time we're recording, by the way, if it's not clearly obvious and everything. But anyway, I work full-time as a photographer, and I do freelance work on the side, but I work mostly for a company in-house, doing product photography and commercial photography in general. It's fun.
Yeah. You're very talented, a very talented photographer.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And then outside of that, I'm also in ballroom. So I do Vogue Femme specifically, and I'll get into the world of ballroom a lot more later on.
Probably going to talk a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, because it's a big part of both of our transitions, I would say, actually. And for me, it was definitely the gateway to understanding more about trans people in general and kind of figuring out that was actually more me than anything else,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, that was a very long intro, but basically welcome and let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Pick me up and never put me down. Pick me up and never put me down. Pick me up and never put me down.
Let's get into it. Oh my gosh. I really
do not have that in there.
Next time I gotta bring some water because I feel like and I want to take a little I have a what the fuck is this called? Mint tablet? Throat tablet?
Oh yeah. A little
You're the American, you should know this.
Yeah, I know, but I'm trying to think of the word.
Oh my god, I just left SpongeBob as well.
Cough medicine
tablet.
Yeah, I guess.
Whatever. I want to take it, but I feel like maybe it'll distract the mouth, or it'll make mouth sounds.
Not to distract the mouth. Damn, that's naughty.
No.
Okay. I see how it is, Benji.
That's not what I meant.
I know it wasn't, but that's what you said.
Okay, well, whatever. I might take it later. Let's begin.
Okay, so going into, I guess, a little bit of a background of us, as well as our friendship specifically, is we have known each other since we were 6 years old. We went to kindergarten together, or
not kindergarten.
Preschool.
Exactly.
There we go. We went to preschool together. We met. We were both very socially awkward and shy.
Yeah, definitely. And back then, when I was in kindergarten, up until, or when I was able to choose my own clothing and all of this, I just wore like masculine clothing or basically boy clothes. And I had long hair for some reason because I was too afraid to cut it short, but I wanted to have short hair. But basically, I was very, very masculine. So when we met each other, I was also masculine presenting, and I had mostly male friends at the time. And you were, I feel like you were just you, but you were not feminine. Do you have a memory of picking your own clothes? Like, did you have a sense of fashion, like, oh, I want to wear this shirt? Because I remember exactly what I liked to wear when I was that small.
I mean, I would say for me, not that much, to be honest. I think when I was younger, I was a little bit more ambiguous. I would say I wasn't that necessarily swayed one way or the other, but I definitely wasn't at all, like, I didn't feel masculine. I never felt masculine growing up. Like, I never have.
No,
I
you
never
were
will.
very gentle, super sweet, and like
I just remember I was a really, like, and when I mean shy, I mean shy kid. Like, I did not dare to talk to anybody.
Because I was also very shy, but I feel like you were almost
I was
shyer
shyer
than me
at
which
that
is
time.
weird.
I definitely was. I mean, now, no.
No.
Now I'm very all over the place,
Yeah.
and definitely not shy. But I would say back in the day, I was very, very shy.
Why is that?
I don't know. I think usually it's kind of funny because usually what I've noticed growing up is like the people who were super shy when they were kids are the exact opposite now, and then vice versa, you know?
Yeah.
So the people who were super outgoing were kind of more chill and laid back and shy now.
Maybe.
But I don't really know why. But I just remember I had this like fear of, I guess, being myself and being, you know, like I was just very shy and very scared of like doing what I wanted to do or presenting the way I wanted to present, or you know. And I got bullied a lot as a kid. Even back then, I remember I didn't really have a lot of friends.
From our class?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
But I just remember, because I remember a lot, like when I was younger, like
you did look a little bit like a not like a dork, but you know, like a cute little dork. You didn't look like a cool, popular kid, you know?
No, I really wasn't when I was a kid. I really was, you know, the person that kind of sat in the corner and didn't really know what to say and never really talked and all of this, which is so funny considering what I'm like nowadays.
Exactly.
Like, it's actually hilarious to think about. But yeah, but I definitely had that vibe. And then I just remember like a lot of people would like no one really gave me the light of day in the beginning. Like when we started preschool together, I just remember it was so many times like just like the first couple of weeks anyway, that no one really talked to me. I didn't really talk to anybody. It kind of just was there, and I was like, okay, so what now? But then I think that kind of changed. I remember one specific time we were having lunch.
Yeah, that's my first memory of you.
This is also my first memory of you properly.
Do you remember that as well?
Yeah, I do. I actually do, which is funny.
That's crazy.
Considering we were 6 years old, mind you.
Yeah.
But
I think it's just like a little bit weird. I don't know why. Maybe it's just like a connection was formed. you know?
But the fact that we still are best friends to this day is kind of wild. Like, because, so basically the backstory of this, right? We were having lunch.
In preschool.
I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it was like fish and rice or something. I know it was rice, but I forget what the other part of the meal was.
Exactly.
But it was specifically rice anyway.
Like we were sitting in the cafeteria in the school. I don't remember exactly where you were sitting, but I think you were sitting, I don't know if you were sitting like the opposite, what was it called? In front of me. I think you were sitting maybe like
slightly to the side of.
Yeah.
Something like slightly diagonally to you. Something like that.
But I don't think there were any other people at the table.
I think it was you and it was our friend Tess, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
I think so. I'm not entirely sure.
I don't remember. Because I remember that I didn't talk to anyone during that lunch.
Okay. But I think, like, it was still kind of fresh into preschool. Like, it was an entirely new class. So, I remember I didn't know anybody. Like, I didn't know anyone since before. You had some people you knew since before.
I mean, I recognized them, but I didn't know them.
Okay, yeah.
But anyway, so we were sitting at the table in the cafeteria, and then we didn't know each other. This was probably like the first day or second or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I just look over at Hunter, and you're just like staring at me for some reason. I don't know why. You just kept staring. You were a very starey person back then. So I was like, what the hell? Why is that person just staring at me? And then you were eating the rice with the fork, but you were taking one piece of rice at a time, just putting it in your mouth while staring at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is this kid doing?
I'm trying to think like what I was thinking in the moment, but I literally have no idea. Like
maybe
I know
maybe like it would make sense if you just looked at me. You're like, is that a boy or is that a girl?
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But either way, like I just remember that day kind of sparked our friendship. So like right after that, we became close.
Yeah.
And then I
don't remember how we started talking to each other.
No, I don't remember either. Not specifically. I just remember that like that vibe of like me staring for some fucking reason and eating one rice at a time.
One rice.
One little piece of rice at a time. And then after that, we've been thick as thieves since. But
we had our ups and downs.
We definitely had our ups and downs.
It's not like we've been 100% besties.
No. But I mean, it was also funny because like, I mean, obviously we were so fucking queer, even though we were kids. But we didn't want to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Fully, or we didn't really understand what that meant at the time.
Definitely not.
But looking back, I mean, it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and then I mean, we might have dated as preschoolers, which was very innocent, very cutesy.
It's so weird though.
Yeah, it's so weird to think back.
I wonder why we weren't just like, let's just be friends.
I don't know. I think we were at a school where it was like very like hee, they like each other or whatever. Exactly. And I think even I remember we were friends, but I think everybody else hyped us up as,
I don't know why, but I just have this vague memory of people not bullying us, but being like, oh, you're in love, because we just hung out so much, and then we just like went with it. For some reason, and then we were like, oh, we're gonna get married when we're older, and we just told people that. Obviously back then, since we're not out or anything or nothing at all, I was just like, I was the girlfriend and you were the boyfriend. But we hung out all the time at school. Also, like on the like recess, we went into the woods and we just like hung out there. And stuff like that. Which is...
We were very weird kids also.
That too.
Very weird. We would we would play a bunch of different games in the woods, or like do just weird, funny shit. I remember there was this phenomenon of you always wanting to wear your underwear, or no, your pants super low.
Right.
Yeah. What the hell do you call that in English?
I don't know.
I forget the name of it. But either way, you would always wear your pants like down to your ass or like past your ass.
Yes, my ass was fully hanging out. Obviously, I wore boxers at the time, like always. And I've always liked the hip hop style even back then. Like all my t-shirts had like graffiti on them, and like I had a hat all the time, and I wore my pants that low, and I was just, I guess, I wanted my friends to be the same.
Yeah,
and. So when we were like one grade up, like 7 years, then we were slightly older. We didn't like date as much anymore. We were just friends. And I was like, I don't know if I don't think I made you do that with your pants as well. Did I?
Kind of. I just remember, I just have this like memory of you always being like, why are you wearing your pants like that? And I was just fully wearing them like normal. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I would like wear them the same way. But it's just so funny to think about, because I felt like you were always so comfortable with that and you always loved that style, you know? But I remember looking back myself, I was like, ew, why the fuck would I wear my pants like this?
Yeah.
So it was never really that natural for me, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it did not feel
I get that.
good for
I get
me.
that now.
Yeah, and
I was like, why wouldn't you want to be cool? What the fuck?
yeah.
I think I was, you know, when you're a child, you don't really like. I remember I was bullied as well from the girls, and because of that, I also bullied a guy. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
We did.
Yeah.
With another person as well, and I feel like you just want to be cool. So I feel like I probably with you, I was like, oh, why do you gotta be so dorky? Why can't you just wear your pants lower? And then I think you did that, but not all the time, obviously.
Yeah. I think I only did it when you were like
Around.
around
Oh,
a
that's so
lot.
horrible.
Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, well, because we also had another friend, Tess, and she was also like my best friend, and she also, I guess I just influenced her as well then, but she also wore like very masculine clothing and like boy clothes. She wore boxers. I guess I also made her wear her fucking pants below her ass.
Right.
But now she's not trans or anything. She's just a fully feminine woman. Yeah.
Yeah. But hey, I mean, it led us to where we are today. So, but it's just, it's, to me, it was just always very funny. And especially, I think, looking back, we haven't really talked about this that much lately, but I feel like looking back at us as kids is like, it was so obvious and so clear in so many ways that we were not like everyone else. But I mean, obviously we got we did get bullied for it. But hey, that's okay. But what I mean is like, I think we've always had a natural connection and gravitation towards each other just because we've always been outside of every other group, kind of. Yeah. And as we both came out in our early 20s, I think it just, everything clicked so much more. It made so much more sense.
Because I remember even like my parents thought that you were so sweet, so kind. You were such a like girl in a way. Yeah. Because you were so innocent and like nice and gentle. And everyone, like I remember all the girls liked you as well. Like they thought you were so nice. Do you remember that? Yeah. And I think that's obviously because you were not a boy, because you could tell that you're not like the other boys. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I was obviously not like the girls either. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just, it is really funny looking back at that and thinking about that, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. But then, so when we were like 8, the school that we were at had to be torn down because it was so fucking old.
Yeah.
So we had to switch schools, and we didn't choose the same one. So you moved to another school, and I moved to another school with like basically all the other friends in our class.
Yeah, basically everyone except me. Because the thing was, I remember at that time.
Why did you not?
No, because I moved. You remember?
Right. Oh, at the same time.
Yeah, like literally the same period of time. We moved from the house that we lived in, or that I lived in growing up, to an apartment that was, I mean, it was in the same area of Stockholm, but it wasn't the same area of that area.
Yeah.
I don't want to give away too much, but basically, it was farther away. And obviously, when you're a kid, like you go to the school that's closest to where you live. I mean, it makes
you went
more
to
sense.
Like English school.
Yeah, but that was I went to a different school in between that.
Right.
But basically, I went to a different school because I also moved my physical living situation at the time.
Yeah.
So then I went to another school that was super close to where the new apartment was, basically. So that's why I ended up going to a different school than you.
So I stayed friends with all the other people in our class. But anyway, so then I don't feel like we drifted apart where we definitely didn't hang out as much. I feel like we hung out like during summer and on the weekends sometimes, but not that much.
Definitely not as much as we had previously, no.
No.
But I think I was also trying to find the new friends and kind of figure stuff out. Yeah. But I just remember that school in particular, after that was not necessarily, well, actually that specific school was okay. I didn't find any friends that were as good, but I still had friends.
Yeah.
Then after that, because I was there for like 2 years, and then I remember after that I changed schools again, and that school was an absolute shit show. Because I went to that school from 4th grade until 8th grade.
The English.
The English school, yeah. So I went to the English school, and yeah, there I got so incredibly bullied, like so fucking bullied, I remember. And this was also the time, like, because I remember, obviously, you know, I didn't realize I was trans until later in life.
But you knew you thought you were gay.
I thought I was gay at the time from the age of 10 years old.
Yeah, that's really, really early, I feel like.
Yeah, it is early. But I just always knew that I was into men, basically.
Yeah.
Oh God, that sounds horrible to say. Like, I was 10 years old and I'm into men.
Yeah.
No, but you get what I mean. Like, I was attracted to, at the time, same sex. Now, not so much.
Yeah.
But you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So anyway, and I just remember it was really hard, and I was so scared of coming out at the time, and I hid so many aspects of myself. Like, I hid from the world. I did not want to be myself. I tried to be anything but myself, basically.
Yeah, you were not very masculine, but you were a completely different person than like when we were like preteens.
For sure.
In that stage, I guess you were very, very bullied. I feel like I didn't know because you didn't tell me about that. And I was never like popular or anything, but I just had my closest friends, and then like that was it for me during my school year. And then I also started dressing very feminine. Like I basically copied my older sister. She's like super feminine.
I remember you really went all out and did the whole...
Like it was from one day boy clothes, the next day feminine clothing, because I was just like...
pink makeup, pink nails.
Yeah. I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I just have to accept the fact that I'm not a boy, basically. And then I just became another person, and I guess you did the same thing. You became some like karate, American football, a gamer person, and what the fuck was I even doing? I was just like painting my nails and doing my hair and like buying the trendy clothing. And then when we hung out at that time, sometimes, I guess since we both wanted to fit in so badly, we were like, okay, let's start dating again. Because it just made sense, I feel like. And also we liked hanging out, and we didn't go to the same school, so it was just like, okay, let's do this. I guess I'm interested in you because I like hanging out with you so much, and we have this history from before. So we did that, which was very, very awkward, I feel like.
Yeah. It's something we don't really talk about that much.
No, it's just weird.
Yeah, it was weird.
But it's also like, obviously we got to know each other better, and it made us stay friends.
Yeah.
Because maybe if we didn't do that, maybe we wouldn't have stayed friends. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe not.
But so for me, I didn't know that I was into girls yet. But you basically knew that you were into guys, and you still dated me.
Yeah, not my proudest moment, that's for sure.
I'm just gonna use this bitch.
But yeah, I don't know. I think I was just like I was so desperate to fit in at that time. Like I remember, like I hated my life that much. Like I really just
I understand that fully.
It was not a good time.
Yeah, and I guess. Didn't your like parents also kind of force you to do all this sportsy things, and like you were like unhappy in that situation as well, like at home?
Oh yeah, for sure. So basically, like my parents were very on me about doing sports and stuff when I was younger, and especially the karate. So for reference, when I was younger, I did karate from the age of 4 until I was like 14. And I even got my black belt when I was 12, which was crazy. And I did that whole thing, and I competed at a very high level, but it was so not me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was really like, it just felt like something I was forced to do, and felt like something that I was expected to do just because I was good at it. But it was not me at all. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't have fun. I liked some people there for sure. Like I have, you know, good memories of the people I spent time with at that time at the karate club and stuff. But it was just not, the thing itself was just not for me. And I remember I just wanted to do other stuff, basically.
Yeah.
Then I also did play American football. That
But didn't you have a crush on the one of the guys there?
Oh, yeah. Hey, well, yeah.
Because I remember that, and that was also when I was very girly, and we hung out sometimes, and you had like your American football things with you, and I was like, oh, that's so cool, and I feel like I was jealous because I also wanted to try, and because it was just so masculine, you know, and I was just like, I guess I'm just gonna be here with my pink fucking nails and not do shit.
I just think it's so funny because it's like there's so many times where, looking back, I think we both felt enormous like jealousy of each other's lives at the time.
Exactly.
And that's crazy. What I mean by when I say like we really Uno reversed each other. Like,
definitely.
It's crazy looking back.
We basically switched. Like I would say I'm very masculine, you know?
Yeah.
And you're the complete opposite.
Yeah, no,
and that was the other way around when we were younger. But then when we were like 14, so like older, was still tweens, I guess. But like, or not tweens, but just like young teenagers.
Yeah.
We hung out once, and you wanted to talk to me about something.
Oh my God, I remember.
And you were like very nervous, I feel like.
I was insanely nervous.
I thought you were gonna want to like get back together or something with me.
Oh yeah.
Because before that you broke up with me because you said you wanted to be a child, and you said that you feel like your childhood has been taken away from you by your parents, which makes sense, but I was like, what the hell is this?
For reference also, I've always been a very old soul. Like I've always been very, very mature for my age in the terms
I had
of, like,
no idea. I was like, you're a child now. What are you talking about?
But I've always been I've always had to take on like a lot of
I get that
responsibility from a young age, and had a lot of weird, crazy, fucked up shit happen in my life. So I think I've always had I have a way of saying things that are not typical of my age, maybe. Especially when I was younger, it was even more apparent. So I could say stuff like that. And to me, it made sense. But the people around me who were my age were like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Exactly. It was like really weird. But yeah, so after that little breakup, we stayed friends basically because we didn't care about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to this day where you wanted to talk about something important. We went on a walk. So this was when we were like 14, like I said, and we were on the swings, and then you were like, yeah, I have to tell you something. I don't remember if you said like I like guys, or if you said
no. I remember I said I was bisexual.
Yeah, okay.
And I said that I liked guys 95% of the time, and I liked girls 5% of the time.
You were like, yeah. So basically, it's like 50-50. So I like girls 50, and then like you were like, well, maybe like 40, 60, like girls 40%, and then you're like, well, maybe like 5.
Yeah.
And then finally you went to like, well, I guess I only like guys, but the only girl I liked was you.
That's crazy.
But then the shocking thing to you was that I also said that I'm bisexual.
Yes. Which was just like, I felt like the biggest weight had been lifted from my shoulders when you told me that, because I felt so ashamed, and I felt so, you know.
You thought I was just like one of your straight girlfriends?
No, not even that. I just remember I felt very ashamed of kind of taking advantage of.
Oh yeah, I get that.
Like using you as a cover for my queerness at the time. You know what I mean? Like I remember that, partly that, and then partly the fact that, you know, I felt so alone in the world, kind of. And then to have somebody else who was also queer was like,
yeah,
oh my God.
Because I don't remember how I realized I was, or thought that I was bisexual. I don't remember how I realized that I liked girls, but I talked to my other friend about it. Then I guess I just knew, and I only told her, and then I told, well, you as well. So you were the second person I told that. But I still remember that after you told me that you were gay, basically, or I understood that after like 10 minutes after you told me.
Yeah.
I think I was pretty sad. I don't remember exactly why, but I think I just felt like, oh, our entire history is made up on lies, and like, what the hell is this? So you never liked me that way, you know. But then obviously later when I realized that I didn't, like, I was fully a lesbian, I only liked girls, I just fucking didn't care. And that moment, like after that moment where we came out to each other, we just got closer and closer, and that was probably still the time where we were the closest we've ever been.
Yeah.
Like when we were 14 up until 16, probably.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Like those 2 years. Because then you switched schools to my school.
Yeah.
Which made us even closer. Like we hung out every day.
Yeah.
After
Because
that.
the thing was, like, I had come out at my school at the time also when I was 14. And I just remember I got so incredibly shut out by everyone. So that school situation was so unbearable for me that I literally could not stay. So I switched schools.
Yeah.
And then thankfully, you know, we had gotten so close. So it was such an easy decision to like start in your class. And then we hung out. When I mean every day, I literally mean like every single day. I remember specifically we would always buy Red Bull and Reese's, and we would hang out after school every single day and just eat a bunch of crap and talk shit and watch movies. And
we had like sleepovers on like school days.
Yeah,
as well.
all the time. I also didn't want to be at home that much.
Yeah.
So I remember I was at your place a lot.
Yeah.
Plus you also lived so close to the school.
Yeah, exactly.
And at that point, my parents had split up, and I was living sometimes at my dad's and sometimes at my mom's. And my mom lived quite far away at that point because she had moved. So yeah, it was just a lot easier to stay at your place.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, we also loved hanging out. So
yeah,
there was
we
that
also,
too.
I don't know the rules in like the US, but at 15 you can buy like mopeds, or get like a license for it. So we did that when we were 15, and we like rode those mopeds all over the world. Almost.
Oh yeah.
We took them to school, and then sometimes we took them to like the beach and hang out. We used them in the middle of the night just to like get away and just talk about things.
Yeah.
Listen to music, just hang out, the two of us, like all the fucking time.
Yeah.
But
it was fun. Oh my God. I honestly miss that era sometimes.
Yeah.
It was a good time. I feel like that was very much like a good time in our friendship also. Or like we had a lot of fun, and we did a lot of fun stuff, and could just be kids, be teenagers for once, you know.
We were so obsessed with getting partners. Like we wanted like, well, I didn't know I was like girls fully. So, or did I?
I think at that point, yeah, you were getting there.
Yeah, exactly. Because I...
Like 14 is when I think you switched, 14, 15.
Yeah, when I was 14, I had my last boyfriend, which was one of your friends.
Yeah.
And I was so uncomfortable with him. And after that situation, I knew that I definitely did not like boys whatsoever.
Yeah.
And also because I like kissed a girl for the first time when I was 14. Like after that, or 15, I guess, after that breakup. And then I was like, okay, yeah, it's settled. I'm fully a lesbian.
Yeah.
So we talked a lot about that as well.
Yeah, that was such a wild era, I feel like.
Yeah.
We had a lot of like parties at each other's places, and
well, I wouldn't call it parties because it was like
it wasn't parties.
It was like 5 friends.
It was just us getting drunk as hell and not doing the best stuff.
We don't, by the way, because we probably have listeners who are like 14, 15 maybe. Yeah. So we don't recommend starting drinking when you're 14.
No, definitely not. I definitely would not recommend. No. But we did. So yeah.
Yeah. Then we kind of drifted apart when we were like entered high school, which was when we were 16 from 16 to 19, because I entered a relationship with one of the people in our class, or one of the girls, and we were together for 3.5 years. So the entire high school period, and I feel like we changed, both you and I changed a little bit, because like we were still very good friends. Like we still did things and hung out a lot, but just not the same way as before.
But also you spent a lot of time with
exactly.
Your
so
partner
I spent
time.
a lot of time with her, and you went through some rough periods, like with your dad and everything.
Yeah.
And then I feel like just because you were like depressed, you shut yourself, or you shut everyone out.
Yeah.
And so I didn't think you wanted to hang out with me. So yeah, that was.
So welcome to the therapy podcast. No, but yeah, no, for sure. I mean, the thing was like, so basically my dad passed away when or the first year of high school. So that was a very like tough period for me, I remember. So I do have a tendency whenever things get rough in my life that I'm just like, okay, no, I don't want to be around people. So I think, yeah, I can understand why you would see it that way. Like I definitely got that. Like I understand why, you know what I mean? It made a lot of sense. I think also like at that time also, that's when my gender started to come into play a little bit more and more. Because I remember I really wanted to go to parties a lot, and I started wearing makeup, so I experimented with makeup a bunch, like a lot, and like fashion and clothing, and really started to like explore that, I think. And we kind of had very different, you know, like you were starting to go more towards like being more masculine again, you know? I feel like that's when it started a little bit more.
More like e-girl vibes.
But you started working out.
Exactly. So that's also when I started working out a lot.
Yeah.
And like I was interested in fitness very much, and more dressed more like lesbian, and I colored my hair black, but I also wore a lot of makeup because I was so insecure.
Yeah.
Always super insecure.
Yeah.
But then I just remember, because we forgot to mention, but we also had a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Or twice. We had a YouTube channel twice.
Yeah.
Which I feel like a lot of friends have when they're younger, but that's pretty funny. At least the first one was in Swedish. It didn't go well at all. And then the second one was in English when we were a bit older. But that was also a lot of fun. I just remembered.
It was a lot of fun. Like, that's the thing about our friendship. It has been very, like, up and down.
Yeah. Even though we were not super close in high school, we were still, like, best friends.
I mean, we were still best friends.
I still called you my best friend. Like,
yeah. Likewise. I mean, it still was always that. It's just that we were not maybe as close as we were before. Yeah. But before, I mean, we were the same person practically. So it's hard. Like, it's not normal to stay that close forever either. You know what I'm saying? So I think we needed to have some time to figure out stuff as well.
Yeah.
And I mean, also get to experiment with our, you know, identities and what we wanted in life. And it's that kind of a time for everyone, I think, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it was good. And then I think after high school, I mean, you and your previous girlfriend broke up.
Yeah. Well, that was like 2 or 1.5 years after high school.
Yeah.
Before that, we had a short period when we were not that good of a friends.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Because you have I remember, I don't know how much you want to talk about this necessarily, but I remember you had a lot of like anxiety and stuff, and it was hard for us to kind of keep being as close because...
Yeah, so I think it was 2020.
Yeah.
I went through like the worst periods of my life. I had so much anxiety, so much panic, and like worrying about like future. I had chaotic thoughts and all this, so I had to talk to a therapist and get like anxiety medication. And after that, like I stopped working out. I feel like I wasn't myself for a long time, and we were still friends, but not like as close as before. But then, like you said, my girlfriend at the time and I broke up, and then we were a lot closer So that was 2022. Did you you had come out at that time?
I came out like during the summer.
Okay.
But I feel like this was 2021.
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
So, oh.
What?
No, but wait. So when did you guys break up?
So
So 2022. But then
exactly.
it must have been early.
March 2022.
Right. Okay.
Were
Yeah,
you,
well, it makes sense.
were you were not out
No.
by then?
No,
Okay.
no. I came out in
In the summer.
yeah, like was it August?
Yeah.
Yeah, I came out right after Stockholm Pride,
Mm-hmm.
like that same week.
Yeah.
So yeah, around your birthday.
Okay. Okay, makes sense. So yeah, in 2022 we became a lot closer again.
Yeah.
Like hung out a lot more. You worked a lot though.
Yeah.
But we're still closer. And then when you came out to me, I remember we were at my mom's place and I was in the couch and then you just came down the stairs. Just casually, you were from being in the bathroom or something. And then you were like, I'm going to transition.
Yeah, because we had gotten back to kind of that kind of vibe in our friendship
Yeah,
again. So it was
exactly.
like very casual, very chill.
definitely.
I knew you would understand it. We had also actually, this is something fun we should talk about.
What?
We had previously, before this,
Previously.
previously on transitioning. Previously before that conversation of me fully coming out, I remember like maybe 2-3 months before that, we had an evening where we were slightly intoxicated, I might add, but I just remember we were talking a lot about like, what if we're both trans?
Yeah.
You
that
remember?
Was so crazy.
That was so crazy and that was so funny.
We were like, that's the first thoughts I had about being trans, because we were hanging out, just the two of us. We were so drunk from we were playing Monopoly.
Yeah.
We just got drunk.
Yeah. It was a good time.
Yeah. And then we went clubbing. But anyways, before going to the club, I don't remember how we even started talking about it, but I was like, because I think I had a thought earlier that day in the shower where I started being like, oh, I feel uncomfortable in my body, and I just started imagining what it would be like in the shower if I had like a penis and like a flat chest and all of this, and I kind of liked it, and that freaked me out at the moment. So then I think I might have brought that up with you, and then I guess you were like, oh my god, I felt the same but opposite, you know?
Yeah.
And then we just started rambling and talking about it so much, like, oh my god, what if we're gonna be trans, la la la. We're gonna be trans.
We're gonna be trans.
Let's be trans.
Yeah.
And it was just so nice to, like, there was a nice conversation.
Yeah. No, I to this day still think about that.
Like, it was not a
sometimes.
calm discussion. We had like the fucking party music on.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, yeah, me too. Like,
And then the day it was so funny because I remember we were talking about it, right? And like we were both kind of
sure
that night.
Yeah.
And then the day after, we both wake up and we're both like, no. But I think it's just like sometimes it really just takes a while for it to click. You
like,
know,
why was that not the moment where it clicked for us?
I have no idea.
Because I wanted to put this in like the beginning, but I forgot to say it. Because you were talking about that you don't have.
Oh yeah, doubts.
No.
But I remember I was talking.
Yeah, you don't have like trans. You didn't have that many trans friends, like trans women friends, so you couldn't talk to anyone about having doubts.
Yeah.
And that I also wanted to note that about this podcast is that so many trans people don't have any trans friends to talk with. So I feel like this podcast is for all the trans people or LGBTQ people who feel very lonely and don't really have friends. And in that case, just feel like we're your friends. We're just here chilling with you, talking about things openly, you know. I feel like that's very important for people to have, like, feel like they have someone, you know?
For sure. I think, like, in general, I would have benefited greatly by having something like this to listen to and to be able to feel like, okay, I'm not the only one who has these thoughts and these feelings and emotions about it. Because I mean, transitioning itself is a big thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, of course, it's not the only thing in life. It's not the only thing about us, but it is a huge part of what has shaped our experiences as people and who we are.
It can be, sorry.
It's okay.
It can be so confusing as well. Like when you don't have anyone to talk to and you have to like Google for answers and all this. And I feel like I would also really want to have a trans man friend who I could talk to and just like, you know, about my experiences at first and my thoughts and all of this. And that's what we're here for.
For sure. Over the time also that we have this podcast, I think like we're going to have different people eventually sometimes come on here and talk to us. Okay. No, but I think we're going to have, you know, some different guests possibly and have different like experiences brought on to here and talked about, you know, and I think there are some people obviously that know from the second that they were born, basically, that they're in the wrong body.
They're born with the trans flag in their hand.
You know what I'm saying? But I think in your case and in my case, it wasn't like super, super clear from the start, and at least in our own heads, like of what we at the time knew about and felt we, you know, like we weren't fully there with our identities from the start. Like we were halfway there, but not fully.
Exactly. It took a while.
Yeah.
To understand.
And I just, you know, I think right now, especially with the world looking the way it's looking, I really want there to be some kind of representation of like, it's okay to have doubts. It's okay to not be fully sure. It's okay to be fully sure. It's okay. Like all these different things.
We can definitely cover a lot of those things in future, like episodes, like having doubts, how to know if you're trans, what it felt like for us, like having these thoughts at first, and lots of things. Like we're going to answer questions. We're going to just talk about like all of it, get into the deepness of it. So yeah, it's going to be a fun ride. Yeah. We have a fun ride ahead of us.
We do.
But anyways, let's just move on then to when I came out to you.
Yes.
Because, yeah, you came out to me and then that was it basically. We talked about that experience for you sometimes.
Yeah.
But it still didn't click for me. I was like, okay, you're trans. I'm not, whatever. So I can get into more later about what my thought process with being trans and how I realized that and all of this, because we don't have that much time left. But anyways, you were the first person I talked to when I started having these thoughts, because I was freaking out basically. And since we're best friends and you were trans, I feel like you're a person I trust and I can talk to. And I think I would still be able to talk to you even if you were not trans, but I feel like it would be so much harder. So because that you were trans or are trans, you were, you're not,
I was.
I were. It was so much easier because I know you'd understand. So yeah, we went on a walk. I think I said to you like a few days before even that like I have something important I want to talk about.
Yeah. And then you wouldn't tell me and I was like, what are you going to tell me?
I don't know why I had to tell you. I think I was just like...
Mind you, we lived together at this point.
All right.
We forgot to mention this. But Benji and I, we used to live together for like...
Yeah, we moved in together in 2022, like after you came out.
Yeah.
When I was... we were both single.
Yeah.
Oh, you've always been single.
You don't have to air my tea like that.
But yeah, so we were living together, which was easier.
Yeah.
So yeah, we talked about it, and then because I was still very, very unsure, but you helped me like get through it and just like sign up to the gender affirming care thingy for or in Sweden. So I did that, and then I think I just, like, the next day or something, I was more sure, and then the next day I was even more sure, and you tried he, him pronouns for me, and then we talked about names, and all of this, and then I came out to my girlfriend, and then just started coming out to people, I guess.
Yeah. The funniest part was also like during this time where I was out, but you were not, like you weren't fully sure. It was so funny because I was just like, I'm just waiting. I'm just sitting here looking pretty.
I don't understand
and
how that was, like, how you thought that about me, because I had no idea. And looking back, I remember how I felt all the time, and I never in my life felt like I was a girl or anything. But like right before I came out, I was still wearing like crop tops, and I had like my eyeliner was so big, so long for some reason, and like I don't know, it was like a big shift for me to be like, okay, no makeup,
Yeah.
and because I feel like for some trans men, they're just like super masculine and have like no makeup and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that matters. I'm not saying it matters. You can be how feminine you want and then still come out as trans. But for me, it was just like I don't understand how you when I was still feminine before I came out. I don't understand how you thought that I was trans.
Because
that I would come out as trans.
Yeah, but I don't know. You just always had this aura to me.
Yeah.
Like, I've also been able to clock a lot of people since coming out. And I've almost always been right.
Yeah.
Sooner or later, in one way or another. So, I don't know. I think it's just like a feeling. And you've always given me very, like, mask vibes. Or, like, I could always see when you were wearing stuff, if you truly liked it or if you didn't. It was never when it was something feminine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I always just had like a sneaking suspicion.
Mm-hmm.
And that sneaking suspicion was very correct.
Yes, it was. So yeah, after that, we moved out from that apartment. We lived together for almost a year. Not even a full year. And then I moved in with my girlfriend, and you moved to where you are living now.
Yeah.
Which was like 1.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And since then, I feel like we're still very good friends, but we just haven't. I feel like now we just haven't had that much time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we're grown-ups now. Okay, we work full time, both of us.
Yeah.
So it's been difficult to find time. I feel like, which is why this podcast is also gonna be so nice to have. To actually have once per week. We have time together to talk about things and just have a good time, so I think it's going to be really good for our friendship as well.
Yeah, for sure. And if anything, it's also like, it's just nice to fully have like like you say, like to just have that time every week to talk and discuss and catch up and hang out. And there's also a lot of stuff that happens all the time. Like, we are fun people in the sense of like there's usually quite a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
I feel like I always have some funny dating story or something to tell you every time I see you.
We definitely have to have an episode with just dating as a trans person.
Sure. Because I have so much to say. And I think, no, it's definitely a very fun topic.
I love hearing it. I love when you've been on a date and I'm like, okay, tell me about it.
Yes. And I'm just there like, okay. So it started in 1999.
I want you to have a boyfriend so bad because my girlfriend and I want to have a couple of friends.
Yes.
Or you specifically.
Yeah.
And your man.
But I think
we've
it's so
been
funny.
Waiting for 11 years. No,
yeah, it's been hey, if anybody out there who's listening wants to take me out on a date, I'm very open to that. Yeah. No, but it is funny. Like, I feel like every time I tell you a story, it's always something new.
Yeah.
It's always some new scenario. Like, I usually don't typically date the same type of people every time. Like, I do feel like I do give different kinds of guys a chance, you know what I mean? So I feel like every day is always something new and something interesting in one way or another, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's going to be fun to talk about all of that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I also just wanted to mention that it was crazy because I met my current girlfriend because of you, because you were friends with her first. Well, obviously you and I were best friends, but I didn't know her then. And then you basically introduced us right when I became single.
Yeah.
Because you're like, you
Yeah.
had a plan all along.
Because the thing is, I knew it. I knew you were gonna just click
Yeah.
so well. And hey,
Yeah.
look at you now.
Yeah, exactly.
You're welcome.
Oh, thank you. No,
I can say this to all the listeners out there: the favor has never been returned, not once.
I
Never.
don't have any.
Work on it, bitch. Make it happen. I've been waiting.
Okay, I will someday.
So what now?
I feel like I could talk for like a long time. I just need some
Yeah,
water,
me
and then
too.
I could talk for hours and hours.
Honestly.
But
Oh,
we have
shit,
to.
we have to
Oh
run.
shit! Yeah.
Oh fuck.
We have to leave the studio.
Yeah.
But yeah, this has been a very interesting first episode. I feel like I hope you liked it. I hope you liked the vibe. It was fun to talk about
Yeah.
all the previous memories and all of that, and hopefully you have a better understanding of us and our friendship and just everything. We're gonna have a lot of fun episodes ahead where we just talk about fun things.
Yeah.
And also some serious things. So yeah.
Yeah. And expect weekly updates and weekly episodes, and we're gonna have a lot
Yes.
of fun with this podcast.
Yes, exactly. So we're gonna upload every single week. After this, we haven't decided on a day yet, but you can see yourself which day we posted this,
Yeah.
and then it'll be the week after. We'll come out with a new episode. Basically.
So feel free to keep on tuning in, and we're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, definitely.
Looking forward to.
How did you like the first episode? Oh my god!
Oh, yeah.
I gotta play with that all the time.
I love that. It's such cute. All right. Well, I would like to thank you all very much for listening, and I hope to see y'all next week.
Yeah, or hear y'all.
Oh.
See them.
Well, we're not gonna hear them either. They're gonna hear
Oh.
us.
Well, what the fuck do you say then?
Well, I don't know.
I hope you'll.
I hope y'all tune in next week. Love y'all very much.
Tell me you wanna touch me. Tell me I can't control you. Tell me that there's nobody else that knows you like I know you. Tell me how much you need me. Tell me how much you like me. Say I'm the apple of your eye. Tell me you'll never bite me.